Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the podcast where we mix money goals with Hollywood drama and drop gems like it's hot. I'm your host, Money Mona, budget babe by day, and I'm here to help you secure the bag without losing your mind or your edges. Period. Let's talk money, mess, and millionaire moves. Here's what we got on the agenda today. Can a latte a day be preventing you from saving for your investments in your retirement? Do you think that slow and steady building is better than not at all? And in millionaire moves, we're talking about, did Tiffany Haddish have a basic baby with Jason Lee? Grab that drink, sis, or your pen, because we're about to get into it. Now, I recently had a spending, I wouldn't say attack, but you know how when your period comes and you want you're craving different stuff, it feels like having a period is like having a pregnancy without a baby for a whole week and a half. And I'm not even talking about the damage it does to my hormones. It throws me off. It is like a reset. I don't know how to describe it, but periods are literally like invisible pregnancies for 1 week. I'm not experiencing everything that I had experienced during a pregnancy, but I can say the spending on snacks and having those comfort foods are really important when you're sitting around and you're grumpy. And I think when I looked at how much I spent on comfort food and snacks, I was just thinking wait, could a latte or a iced coffee or a frappuccino or a chai latte be the reason why at the end of every week you're scrambling for gas and then you're trying to hold on to pay for your car repairs, and then you're trying to hold on and wait the next 2 weeks to hold out and I feel like part of the reason that we have these urges come from, I don't know, our hormones, I'm guessing, but it makes me feel like if I have my snacks, my sugar, my ice cream, but I'm telling you, when I used to go to the store and I would grab my basic little snacks, I could have maybe $5-6 on me. Now, when I'm going to any store or wherever I'm going to grab my snacks, it's almost like I have to have $50 on me to feel comfortable and safe to get everything I need. And I'm just wow, if I'm spending $50 a month, what else can I be spending? What else can I be losing money on? If I'm just spending $50 on snacks, and don't get me twisted, y'all know how it is when you want your comfort snack around you, or how it is when you want your whatever it is that is your crutch to make you feel a little bit better. The amount of money that it used to cost to have a crutch was cheap, baby. I can't afford. Every time that I buy chips from 7-Eleven and I see $12-15, I'm just dang, these 2 bags of chips, 10 years ago was 99 cents. That $2.79 be so eye-opening, and it's just the wages are not keeping up with the pace of the cost of living, and so it's we need to have livable wages. We don't need to be burnt out. We need to have one job. We need to be an entrepreneur. We need to put on all these caps, and we need to look up good while doing it. Keep a man, raise your children, run a company, show up for everybody. And it's when does the opportunity come to genuinely let your hair down, let your guard down, and breathe? It's not but a night between us getting back up every single day and fighting the same fight that we fought yesterday. And I feel part of the reason why investing into yourself should be important to you is because when you look up one day, you're going to have to answer for every missed opportunity to invest in that 401k, every opportunity you had to deposit funds automatically from your checking account right into your Fidelity account without even blinking. Before you pay anybody or any bill, you should be the first one that's paid. And it's quite strange that the cost of living and inflation has gone up. Minimum wage has stayed the same, but the demand if you want to enjoy your favorite show, you got to subscribe. If you want to buy your or be a part of your favorite tour that's coming to town, you got to get the tickets, get the merch. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel 99% of y'all are missing the damn mark when it comes to paying yourself first. It's no easy way to say pay yourself first besides pay yourself first. And that's going to bring us into our first topic. Topic 1, stack your paper. When I asked the question, can a latte a day be the reason why you are not investing? Many people might have just brushed it off or didn't even pay attention to what the logic is. But when I equated the amount of money I spend just having my comfort snacks around me during my period and how much I spend in 1 week on just comfort snacks, it's a subconscious thing, but it's also a real thing. And I think like you can't just live a life and be like, oh, I don't like this, oh, I'm not going to attend that, or I'll never do this, or I'll never do that. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is, do you pay yourself first? And when is it going to cost you enough to pay yourself first? When are inflations and prices going to get so high that you're going to consider investing in yourself first, which is why I said a latte. Now, so for some people, it's a latte. For some people, it's apps and spending money on TikTok. People actually pay to watch other people's stuff on TikTok. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm telling you right now, once I realized like TikTok is a space where you have to pay to be a part of, you got to pay to subscribe, you got to pay to send somebody a heart. Because I wanted to do the TikTok thing too. Nothing wrong with people paying for what they like. That's their business. That's your business. But my issue, especially with the African American community, is we are not like consecutively moving together as a unit, as a people with this $1 trillion buying power. I'm not seeing it. Because for one, if this boy who y'all deem so smart and he had this great invention, why would the internet, Beyonce's internet, get on the internet and ridicule a boy for coming up with an invention like using plastic as fuel? That should be nothing that should be hid. If anything, he just created our way out. But nobody wants to put the infrastructure behind creating cars with his brand and his name on it, putting the money together for an industrial plant off somewhere like Elon Musk keeps building in rural areas, in areas and communities where he deemed that people are not valuable, I would say, because the companies, the supercomputers that he built are pumping mass amounts of pollution into the earth, right? And so one of the things that stood out to me this week was, even though he invented and came up with this great invention, why would America shun him or put him in a position or even turn energy like, oh, you better hide yourself, oh, is he still alive? Like, we cannot afford to keep this shackles and chain mindset. You have to think and believe beyond what you see. You have to think and believe beyond what you know. And if you don't know anything more, and if you think you've reached your capacity, then go to God so that he can expand your capacity. I believe like the reason why I was exposed to Ghana and Ghana living and being able to exposed to Africa in a sense that I've been studying it for a few weeks now is because in my mind, I thought that the glass ceiling or the maximum potential for me was to pay off my student loans, buy a house here, and to just open up a business or whatever the case. But my spirit called me higher. And I just believe that we're capable so much as a Black people that you should not live or be, or we should not entangle ourselves with an attack or a belittle, or that is not enough. Like we act like we have a scarce mindset in a country that people are literally like, Shannon Sharp just gave $20 million plus to a young white girl. You know how many Black families, Black men, programs, communities that can be built up with $20 million? And this is where he decides to give it into a fetish of being with a white woman. The psychological effects of the things that we've been through in this nation are so evident. And the fact that they keep replaying wide in front of our faces, but it's like entertainment for people and it's not much. It is hitting everything. Like, all my flags are up right now. And I feel like all your flags should be up right now. You don't have time to waste your money on a latte when in 10 or 15 years your child is going to be going to college and they need dividend paying stocks that you could have been investing in for 10 years. You see the difference? A stock dividend paying stock that pays your child residual income or money that can be residually put back into the stock market so that they can grow their wealth, versus you taking a week or two to indulge in a latte and a Dunkin' Donuts super chocolatey dripped chocolate cake drink. It's like, be for real. No, literally, like, be for real. Segment 2, spill the wealth. Now, contrary to popular belief, slow and steady versus not at all is the era that we're living in. Because, first of all, how is it that Shannon Sharp can fork over $20 million plus to a white girl? One of the best athletes, Adrian Bronner, best boxers, be frying chicken in somebody's backyard in the hood. How can AJ Brown, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, be turned into a rapper, running around America, getting beat up for his jewelry? How is it that the celebrities that Gilbert Arenas is running a poker casino ring in his house? This Gilbert Arenas is not just anybody. He is a multi-million-dollar top athlete who acquired a lot of wealth in the NBA. I don't understand, but I do. I lie. I was going to say I don't understand where the hole is and why the black men and black women in our community who are in these powerful financial figures who make these breakthrough amount of monies, why are they not linking up? Why is there not infrastructure around our culture, our industries? Ice Cube has done a great job at having this vision and being able to perpetuate the black dollar and the real effect of what we have can build. And I think that he doesn't get enough credit. And I think that people think that what he's doing is just I don't know. As a person from the outside looking in, when I say spill the wealth, I'm looking at blueprints like Issa Rae. I'm looking at blueprints like Ice Cube. I'm looking at blueprints like Viola Davis, her having a media company. I'm looking at Shonda Rhimes. I'm looking at all of these prominent figures who are Tyler Perry, who are laying the foundation by investing into themselves. Taraji P. Henson. And they're creating webs, concepts, industries, partnerships. They are not one dimensional. They are like 4-dimensional in their partnerships and their ability to execute and the secrecy of their lives and them being private and putting out work and creativity and art and black excellence. And I'm labeling what they're doing as black excellence because it's at the highest level of creating that you can be. And when you look at people who are this prominent and the foundations that they are laying, it's almost like, not only can I do it, I am going to do it, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So in the time that it takes for me to get from a podcast, just a single podcast, me doing this on my own, and to building a network, everything in between there, I don't have to say in 10 years. Because what if it happens in 5? What if it happens in 3? I don't want to say in 10 years or in 20 years. Because that makes you feel like you have forever to do so, right? But I dream in the capacity of my network. So when I get to the position where I can fully train women to be podcast producers and executive producers and powerful networkers by having a system, a outline, one thing that I noticed that working at these different companies over the years is when they need to train somebody, they have somebody training, they have the material already set, they have the questions already answered, so you don't have to go too far. This is how they keep their systems with a universal message or a universal mission or a universal drink or a universal delivery of experience is because they have it plastered right there. When you're making a double whopper, bun, burger, lettuce, ketchup. It's like if you can't learn it by hearing it, you can see it. If you can't see it, I'm gonna have somebody train you. And I think that finding out that the blueprint of your mark in the world is you having a foundation of ownership, mentally owning yourself, physically owning yourself, and then you put out a creative piece of art that you own, and then you're creating a system to teach others how to do that. That's something that I had to really sit back over the last 10 to 15 years and just take notes. And I think that when you're talking about spilling wealth onto your nation, especially as Black people, we spill wealth by leaving clues, because I think when you leave clues, it makes people have to go search and find not what you did specifically, but it leaves enough information for people to know that they need to do their own research. They need to have their own power. You need to lead with your own mission, your own play. You can't just like, oh, I'm going to take this. You want to take everything from everybody and then you want to go be that. No. Why is it that, or how is it that you can use what your purpose is, or how is it that you can discover your purpose, use your purpose, and create a blueprint for what your purpose is so that you're able to teach the person next to you. I feel like if you don't have nothing worth duplicating, don't go out there and do anything. But if you have something to duplicate, if you have a system to a formulation that you want to duplicate, then you have to write it. You have to create it. You have to stamp it, and then you have to own it, trademark it, copyright it, put it in the Library of Congress as your own. And I feel like the way that I'm able to tell you what to do is because I've had to spend the last 3 or 4 years learning this myself. And had I never gotten to that point where I was curious enough to figure out, like, what is the hole in my family? Like, why is it that we're still poor? How is it that I've been to college, I've been to Howard, I've been across the states, I've been in rooms with President Obama, and I'm coming back home and everybody is still in the hood. And then our first gathering that we come back for, y'all stealing money out of my room that I've worked for to go have a barbecue. Y'all stealing for me? What? No. I'm not going to jail over hurting a family member over something that they took from me that I worked for. Right? But it's like, if you don't have anything in your family to look forward to, you don't have no knowledge, you stop reading, most of your parents dropped out of high school or barely graduated or only graduated and they've been working minimum wage all their life. If that is all that you know, if that's all that you've had, that's all you're going to have if your parents are not leading you to anything different. Now, for me personally, I believe that success leaves clues. But I feel like at a certain age, it's no longer your responsibility to be able to blame anybody for what you have or what you don't have. What you kill in your 20s, you eat in your 30s. And that's been very evident in my life. What I kill in my 30s, I'm going to eat in my 40s. What I kill in my 50s, I'm going to eat in my 60s. It's when you stop being hungry. It's when you stop being able to service. It's when you stop digging and looking for yourself. When you think that you've arrived, then that's your plateau. That's as much as you're going to do. But if you keep on this quest, and I feel like your relationship with God is going to be the only way that you work out what's inside of you, because you don't even have the capacity to feel or understand what's in your future. But if you let God be your compass, if you pray to him, if you ask him, if you believe for something that's higher than yourself, then God is not a man that he shall lie. But I believe that he will honestly reveal to you, and that's not going to happen. And the life's journey is your relationship with God. That is the journey. You're not just supposed to get somewhere, get this amount of money, and then sit up on a hill and then watch the birds for another 20 years. When I think about the story of Sheila Johnson, the first African-American woman who became a billionaire and sold BET for $3 billion almost, 50 years ago. And when I actually read her story, I just realized, and now I'm seeing that with this young girl, and she got entrapped by this man, Bob Johnson, in college, who was 2 years older than her and got married at 19. And she went through 20 years of a marriage where she wasn't loved, where she was belittled, where she had to walk through fire, That's the name of her book. If y'all want to read it, by the way, the creator of BET, Miss Sheila Johnson, is widely responsible for BET becoming a cultural phenomenon. And I'm looking at the exposure. I'm looking at the need. I'm looking at the. It's so mind blowing that this woman in her 20s and 30s was working on something that, 30, 40 years later has become a epitome. It has become like, when I think about the clashing of like Tyler Perry's sister shows and his art being able to be displayed on this such network and all over the world. But I just think about like the collaboration with Netflix and the partnerships that are becoming global now. It's only pulling my mind for me to be more globally mindset instead of me just trying to reach this almost like it's unattainable. And then why do I have to be kicked and take scratches and punches and dents all the way until I get to my house? This house, and I'm putting a house in air quotes because am I ever going to get there? The American dream was to work until I own a home. Why? Why is that the most that I can dream of? It's not. But when you pay yourself first, in your 30s and in your 20s, you're setting yourself up in your 40s and your 50s to live a life where you can travel country to country. You can run a global business. You can do things internationally. And I just think that it's super important that I spill that wealth and give y'all that gem. Segment 3, millionaire moves. Now, I don't try to be in nobody's business. I don't try to be, dibbing and dabbing, but your girls I be having my binoculars on. And I be putting them on and I be looking real close from afar though. Because I don't like to be in people's business. But I could not help to see how the internet went crazy at the thought of Miss Tiffany Haddish having a baby in her hand. And like, Mr. Jason Lee, gossipaire turned media mogul turned councilman. He's like effortlessly swinging between these like roles and these different outlets. And I think that it's super even important to watch a person like Jason Lee in the Jason Lee show and his, network of Hollywood Unlocked. He was able to simultaneously, like, I remember when Hollywood Unlocked came about, like maybe 9 years ago, 8 years ago. And I'm looking at now how it has evolved into, TV and production and him signing with the Zeus Network and then him being able to host Hollywood Unlocked award shows acknowledging the collective community and everybody shows up for Jason Lee. And it just surprised me to see, it was surprising to see Tiffany Haddish with a new baby and her possibly, I don't know if it's surrogacy. I don't know if they went in on a baby. I don't know. These new trends of the celebrity world and how they have kids is just very always evolving. So if she does, congrats to Miss Tiffany Haddish. Nobody's clocking your uterus. Nobody's clocking anybody's uterus, but congrats. Wait, one more thing I want to get into with millionaire moves because this is a messy move. But is it typical Cardi? Cardi is walking around to me like a hoe. I'm so sorry. Whether that man married her or not, why are you moving on and having another baby with another person that you have barely, like, you haven't even been on your marriage? And I'm not for letting anybody walk around, but they would never let a black woman walk around with these 3-4 different kids, loud, beat people up in the airport, and let us get away with something like that. So the things y'all do and allow for other lighter skinned people, it's just very evident, but that's whole behavior because why are you walking around getting pregnant every single year for the last 5 years? I don't care whether it was with one man or not. If you move on out of a relationship into out of a marriage and get pregnant again, I don't know. That's not my business. I'm not clocking anybody's uterus, but that is very whole behavior. And I don't think that nobody's going to keep on. I'm not just going to allow that to be muddled over. Yes, everybody's rich and all this other stuff, but at the same time, if you don't have no morals or you have no moral code or you don't stand on anything besides having babies by men, that is a little bit like off-putting about your character. But Save that for another time, another day. Woo! Okay, we got into so much stuff today. So let's do a recap on everything that we learned in moving forward, how we can work out our financial muscle. Put down a latte, pick up an investment, a stock portfolio, dividend paying investment stocks. It's better to be slow and steady than not at all. And for our millionaire moves, build your community up. Crunch down on your niche so that you can deliver a groundbreaking experience to the younger generation that's coming up under you, who are dreamers and believers. And I believe we have the power to be able to lift our community if we invest in ourselves. And our investing in ourselves look like learning some new information, becoming and starting an LLC on digital communication and products, like all these different things. I can't do one thing while I sit and I think about all these great things. That's why I'm building a network with Sweet Millionaire Formula for us to branch out and become this massive and great media company. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Until then, stack it, save it, and protect your peace and your pockets.